Hey, how you all doing, my beautiful crew members? It is your captain here, Geronimo. Welcome to yet another episode of Let's Play Star Trek Online. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Baul, Sentry Vessel. Without any further ado, let's proceed with today's review. Engage! The Baul Sentry vessel can be acquired by opening up Angel's Wake lockbox. All you need is lockboxes, master keys, sprinkling some luck into the equation, combine those three together, and you just might get yourself a chance to acquire Baul Sentry vessel. That being said, let's proceed with ship's customizational options. Baul Sentry ship is a good recreation of an intimidating vessel, as seen in Star Trek Discovery episode The Sound of Thunder. During episode, they were a little bit blurry, so I did not get a good look at them, but it seems the Testio team done a good job yet again. Let's be honest, it's just a grand monolith in space, however, a very cool monolith. Due to that, I'm just going to say that they've nailed it. There is a single alpha template. What else could we want beside that for a ship such as this? This vessel contains a standard freighter interior, and I do not really like it. I think that they should at least try to recreate a bridge from the interior that was seen on screen, but okay. Window options are non-existent, and by taking a look at the materials, there is only Baul Sentry ship type. And that's okay, because Baul are mysterious and we do not know a lot about them. By expanding the advanced options, there are a standard list of patterns, joined by the long list of Rysian patterns. You cannot modify the ship style, primarily as there is no button to do so, and because you actually get a lot of things on which you can modify patterns. To be precise, you get to modify top, bottom, left, and right side door, and all of the arms that protrude from these doors. That's cool. Unfortunately, there is no way to manually open the doors to see what you've done to the arms. You literally need to apply the color and everything, then go to space and then do the thing to open up the ship, but okay, it's just a potential inconvenience and I'm really nitpicking right now. When you set the left side of a color to the yellow and the right side to the red, nothing happens. I mean, perhaps it does, but at least I do not see it. Perhaps some other pattern might do the trick, however standard patterns appear not to do anything. It's a poor customization, but I know it's a mysterious ship, we only had a few shots of it and I know it's very hard to expand on that. But now let's take a peek of it in space. Sentry vessels are ships dedicated of protecting certain territories, and by territories I mean Kaminar, against unwanted intruders, such as USS Discovery. They are highly survivable and have enhanced networking capabilities, on which they connect with other Sentry vessels to ensure the contest point is quickly resolved in Baul's favor. Baul Science Intel Spearhead is classified as a scalable Tier 6 Kaminar Alliance science vessel. That means anybody can fly it with no restrictions, no matter of what species you are. Cool thing is that this vessel, if acquired on lower levels, scales up alongside with you, leveling up every 10 grades all the way until level 40, and in process unlocks more weapons and console slots, as well as gaining more hull HP and bridge officer stations. If a player gets a vessel on higher level, the less up to none scaling is required. Mastery systems is offline until you reach level 50, however nothing stops you from acquiring mastery points. That will unlock your mastery a lot faster, if not immediately, upon the reach of level 50. Full table of scaling can be seen on the overlay for you to study. All ships come with standard equipment and weapons of the lowest mark, which is available at Starship's minimum rank, and Baul are no different to that. The items provided are appropriate for the type of vessel and its belonging time period. When you unbox the box with the ship, the vessel comes pre-equipped with Baul anti-proton weaponry. Weapons are all set as Mark Infinite, so they will scale up with you, however those cannot be upgraded nor can be re-engineered. If you would like to be a proud owner of Baul anti-proton weapons that can be upgraded and can be re-engineered, you will have to get them from the Angel's Wake lockbox or from the exchange. Fun fact, Baul weapons reflect from one target up to another, and you will see that throughout the video. Pre-equipped weapons and equipment table is on the screen right now. As an Admiralty card, this vessel comes with 20 engineering, 46 tactical and 60 science points. Its special ability is that it will reduce minus 25% maintenance per every tactical vessel that you send on a mission. The maintenance period is standard 18 hours. On level 65, you get to play with 60,750 hull HP. Regarding weapons, there are 4 forward slots that support dual cannon mounts, as well as standard free aft weapon slots. As a science ship, you also get a benefit of a secondary deflector slot, which is pre-equipped with deteriorating secondary deflector. Your available bridge officer stations are Lieutenant Commander Tactical, Ensign Tactical, Lieutenant Engineering/Command, Commander Science/Intelligence, and Lieutenant Commander Universal. You may equip up to 3 devices onto the device slots, and the ship can benefit from 4 tactical, 2 engineering, and 5 available science console slots. All vessels within STO come with modifiers. Some have more and some have less, but Tier 6 ships have 3 of them, and these in this case are 1.35 for the hull, 1.45 for the shields, and 0.17 for the impulse. The Space Obelisk has a turn rate of Mount Everest, which is graded as a slow 7 degrees per second with inertia rating of 50. Both are smart and know which key systems will require more power than others. That is why we get a power bonuses of plus 15 to auxiliary and plus 5 to the weapon subsystems. All science ships have a free access to the built-in sensor analysis and a subsystem targeting abilities, so let us start with that. Subsystem targeting is a set of 4 rank 1 space abilities. Once activated, they will upgrade attacks from Starship's energy weapons, giving the vessel's user a 10-second buff, during which attacking an enemy ship with any form of energy weapons will cost a stacking power to that subsystem, and will have a small chance of completely taking that subsystem offline. If the targeted subsystem is taken offline, it renders all of the abilities that use this subsystem temporarily inert. For example, let's say that you're trying to target and you manage to knock down the auxiliary power of your opponent. Your opponent will be unable to use any deflector-based abilities such as gravity wells until they perform a restart of their subsystem power grid. You may choose to target enemies' weapons, shields, engines, or auxiliary subsystems. Next up, we have Sensor Analysis, which is an active toggle ability of all science vessels. While maintaining sensor lock on target, you, the player, gains the stacking effect that will either improve damage and power drain if you have your lock on the enemy, or will improve directed heals towards an ally if you have a lock on the ally. When you use sensor analysis on a target, it produces an effect that will stack every 3 seconds to a maximum of 6 stacks after 18 continuous seconds. To maintain the effect of it, you have to keep the sensors locked on the target. There are a lot of ways for that lock to be broken. However, you can break it yourself by manually deactivating the sensor analysis. When broken or deactivated, sensors will take 5 seconds to cool down. As we said before, when targeting allies, this ability becomes a healing buff, and against enemies, it is a 2-fold debuff. Before we keep on going to the most interesting part of the review, let's quickly take a short commercial break, if that's okay with you. Hey, I'm so glad to have you back. You ready to keep on going? Because the best part is about to start. However, I still have to mention that all Sentry ships are fully intel capable, meaning that you can tap into active sensor arrays. Active sensor arrays allow you to gather intelligence from the target. Once activated, Sentry ship launches a small covert drone that immediately cloaks and flies toward the targeted enemy. Drone will perform a penetrating scan, which will give your opponent 1 stack of penetrating scan every second. Once your opponent reaches 15 stacks, they become vulnerable for a short time. Multiple intel vessels can contribute to the number of penetrating stacks if all of them target the same opponent as you are, causing the target to become vulnerable more quickly. While they're vulnerable, intel ships can use expose vulnerability abilities on their targets, placing a crippling debuff on the enemy. Once you do that, the target will lose vulnerability state and cannot become vulnerable for a short time. You may choose to expose defenses, weapon systems, or critical systems. I have to note that there is no launch effect of an Intel drone. However, you can hear the sound effect of a launch sequence. By doing some investigation, I have concluded that the drone indeed launches. However, it doesn't exit the ship because of its elevation is set too low on this model, and it also cloaks before it can be noticed exiting the ship. A small bug, but okay, I don't mind. Intelligence vessels are capable of passive warp signature masking. This passive ability grants an Intel ship a tiny amount of stealth, which will render your craft undetectable at long ranges. This passive bonus is removed when Starship engages its cloaking device. However, this ship doesn't have a cloak, so you're safe. Because this is a Tier 6 vessel, we have 5-tier mastery skill tree of a science craft, and that includes enhanced particle generators, advanced shield systems, enhanced restorative circuitry, reactive shield technology, and ship's trait, intruder discouragement. While this trait is slotted, your critical hit grants a stacking buff to the damage resistance and hull regeneration. Additionally, when you enter a combat, you gain a significant boost to the critical hit chance that wears off after a few seconds. That can only happen once per several seconds. This big monolith comes pre-equipped with universal console called Sentry mode. Once activated, the vessel will stand up like an obelisk, so to say, and will call in reinforcing bowl sentries to assist you in combat. When they receive your message, 10 bowl sentry ships warp in and start forming a ring around your position, entering into a network with you. As long as they're around you, you and your networked sentry ships will channel blasts of anti-proton damage, amplifying them in between each other before sending them out to the nearby opponent. As I said at the beginning of a video, bowl weapons will chain between enemies, so does the enhanced blast from the console. You may also keep firing your personal weaponry freely without any restriction, which is amazing. Important thing to note is that you cannot move during the networked attack. You're basically rooted, but also you can remain in this formation indefinitely or until you deactivate it manually. Once deactivated, console goes on a 2-minute cooldown. Consoles from Tier 6 starships have passive boosts, so this console provides a passive boost to the anti-proton damage and to ship's control expertise. It would appear that the networked Sentry ships can be fired upon, however they cannot be destroyed, or at least I haven't gotten lucky enough to get one of mine blown to bits. So, the Sentry mode is absolutely savage, it is OP as a fudge! Those attacks are extremely powerful, and the fact that they chain towards other targets means that the sentries can melt anything that they encounter. Fun fact is that if you get trapped within Tholian web and then activate Sentry mode, sentries won't be able to reach your network with you until the web collapses. Due to the reflective nature of Baul anti-proton weaponry, if you target one Tholian web node, the beam will chain towards other nodes, collapsing the web super fast. Ships perform in combat very well, however it is slow as a brick, so do something about that. For example, competitive engines. As a science spearhead, it is fully built to be a science ship, however it has a bridge officer setup that allows you to take it on a tactical route or a pure science route. Overall, this ship is amazing, I love it, I love everything about it, and I rate it 10 out of 10. I also have to say a big thank you to all of my channel members, and shout out to all of my lieutenant rank members. Those are Joseph Leland and Alan Patty. Thank you everybody so much, you're directly helping me fund this channel. I don't know what I could do without you, you're amazing. Thank you one more time. This is going to wrap yet another video up, crew. I really hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like, that tells YouTube that you like this video, obviously, and it tells me that you like it and that I'm doing something right. Consider subscribing for more STO videos if you already haven't. Click the bell notification to get notified. Perhaps become a member if you'd like to directly support the channel. And yeah, until until next time, crew, I love you all because you're the best. Geronimo, out.